is that because like the connecting with team members, um, if you have a team and you're a CEO, that makes sense. If you are an investor and you have a CEO that is supposed to be in charge of running the company. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Business Lunch. I am here with Ryan Deiss, who is entrepreneur extraordinaire, founder of multiple amazing companies, and maybe one of the handsomest men that I know. And
most handsomest, even.
one of them, yeah, let's go the double superlative. And I am just Roland Frasier. So we are your humble hosts here on Business Lunch and looking forward to having a lunchtime-like discussion with you. Ryan, you said you had some stuff you wanted to chat about. What you got?
I am always in, yeah, I do. I'm always in pursuit of, just trying to have the perfect day, the perfect week, just
Nice.
trying to figure out what are the things that I can do to be as efficient and effective with my time, trying new things because I don't know, it's fun. What else are we going to do, right? And so I've got a different, I've got a new time blocking methodology that I've been trying out a little bit, and I want to see what you think about it because I want to know what I'm missing. If you got any ideas, suggestions, and just generally, poke holes in it, throw rocks at it. Maybe the folks out there, get value from it and they want to try it out as well. But, this is true to, this is what we do at Business Lunch. We talk about the things that we would talk about over lunch, and this is something that I talk about. So
for those who do not know what time blocking is, why don't we do a quick review just so that everybody's on the same page?
Yeah, great point. Yeah, so time blocking is simply thinking about your week and just being intentional about your time and how you're going to break up the week and what theming the week and what activities you're going to perform at different points in time during that week. So blocking off different hours of different days in the week and claiming them for different actions and activities.
Yeah.
That's
So like
time blocking is.
specifically, I think the process is get your calendar out and say, I am going to meditate from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning. I'm going to have a 2-hour block of time from 10 a.m. to 12 where I ideate and brainstorm. I'm going to work on my, I don't know, I'm going to work out, from X to X, or I'm going to make outbound telephone calls from this time to this time, this many days a week. And it's going to be an appointment in my calendar that I am going to hold sacrosanct as much as if a whole group of people were counting on me to do that. And then in terms of kind of a little nuance to it, I think, is that ideally you do the hard things first. Brian Tracy wrote a book called Eat That Frog. Do the hard thing first and get it scheduled and get it out of the way. If you're an ice bath person and you're just getting into it for the first time, it's like, man, I'm looking at that water and I know it's really, really cold and uncomfortable and I got to jump into it and I got to stay in it for X period of time. Time block that stuff and get it out of the way early and have your comfort stuff later in the day. But that's just so you guys know, I just wanted to be sure everybody got the idea of it.
Yeah, the simplest way to describe it is really budgeting. So if you think about the way that you would budget your money, I love what John Maxwell said about budgeting. He said, budgeting is telling your money where to go. Time blocking is telling your time where to go. He said, budgeting is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Time blocking is telling your time where to go instead of wondering where it went. So it's the same basic idea. Now, I have, over the years, I think, over time blocked as a founder, as a CEO, because I do believe that one of the signs and something that I look for, I know when we're talking to, meeting with our clients and portfolio company CEOs, I actually want to see a fair bit of white space on their calendar. I think when you're a CEO, if every hour of every day is blocked in, that's usually a sign that you're probably micromanaging, that you're probably doing too much of the work that your team should be doing. So I get very, very nervous when I see a CEO whose calendar is completely filled in and completely blocked. It's just a sign that you're doing too much of the work that your team should be doing. It's also a sign that you're not leaving room and capacity for serendipity, for strategy. So I'm applying that same rule to me. So my time blocking strategy does leave a lot of open space. It leaves a lot of white space. Also, it leaves a lot of space for what I would consider to be the quote unquote work, like the real work, which when you're a CEO, very often it's just letting things come to you, right? It's an acknowledgement that I'm going to show up and my job is really to kind of deal with whatever things come up on this particular, week and time. That is always an aspect of the job. So
Okay.
for this particular time blocking strategy, it is definitely not going in and time blocking 40 to 50 hours of the entire week. So I just want to set that up for the thing. So the first thing though that I did want to do, I found that I wasn't giving any time to intentional strategy, to just thinking strategically about the business. Like we were doing strategic planning on a quarterly basis, but I would go months without giving any real strategic thought to the business, zooming out. And everything was only thinking about, okay, what do I need to deal with today? What's that thing? And I was just getting very sort of frantic, tantric. And it was all just like, and it had me in like this weird energy. And I just felt like I wasn't all that effective, just very, very frantic. So I've now set aside 90 minutes each week on my calendar, focused exclusively on strategy. And I actually put this, originally I had this on Monday. I moved this to the end of the week. So now this is on Thursday.
Is that
right?
So you can experience the week and not come from kind of a cold start?
Bango. I'm looking at performance, analyzing the trends, and it is just, there's no promised outcome. It's just the time where I can just sit there and just think, how did the week go? I'm looking at the company scorecards. How did it go?
And do you have a process for that, or is it just kind of general, let me marinate in strategy?
It starts with reviewing the company scorecards, because I want to see how is that going, reviewing where we are in the context of the strategy that we've set. So what are the goals? What are the key initiatives? So how are we doing in in the progress that we're making? And then just what changes, if any, do we need to make towards that? And again, these are all questions that we were asking on a monthly basis as a team. I'm now just asking them every single week just to myself. Now, I rarely will I, take this, and this does require some discipline, because the tendency can be to now shift the strategy every single week. So if you're going to do this, and there's a time when I would have done that, you don't want to come in like a wrecking ball and change. And if you're going to do this, you're not allowed to literally change the freaking strategy every week. Okay, that's the only caveat that I put in this, but I do think it's important to have some strategic evaluation time. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the first little time block that I put in, and that is Thursday afternoons.
Okay.
Do you want me just to go through them all, or you want to chat about each one individually?
No, let's go through them.
Okay. Second thing, 2 hours that is only dedicated to connecting with key team members. I found I was no longer spending really any time meeting and connecting with the key members of the team for any type of mentorship, advising, anything. So you're talking about just like basic one-on-ones. Now, lots of people, they're probably doing this. I was doing a little bit of it. I wasn't doing enough of it. And so I thought, if the people are important enough, 2 hours in a week, I think that's a good use of time. So that was the first one. So blocked off strategic time, blocked off people time.
Let me ask a contextual question.
Yep.
Is that because, like, the connecting with team members, if you have a team and you're a CEO, that makes sense. If you are an investor and you have a CEO that is supposed to be in charge of running the company, or even if you have a general manager, do you still see that? Because it's a tough thing to think about, I think. Am I a coach to these people, or is the leader who I've put in place to lead those people the coach, and I'm supposed to coach that single person?
I believe that everybody who is in any leadership type position should be mentoring somebody. And so
I don't dispute that. I'm just saying, should it be you? Like, are you the CEO of that company?
So in this case, it's a combination where, like, for scalable, let's say, Yeah, I'm CEOing that company, so there's a couple people I'm meeting with.
Yeah. Okay.
So that
I
would
just
be
want to
the
clarify that because I
yeah.
think if you weren't CEO and you had a CEO, it might not be the best thing for you to be having those one-on-ones.
Definitely, you should not be meeting with some other, one of your CEO's leadership team. But
Right.
what you should be doing is meeting with that CEO probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
And so in this case, now we're meeting with the portfolio company CEOs.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm definitely not suggesting that you be doing one-on-ones, skip level meetings as a part of this. And there is a place for skip level meetings, but that's probably not something to be time blocking into your meeting on a
And at
weekly basis.
NVIDIA and Tesla, they are doing that. So,
Oh yeah. I think there's a place for skip level meetings. I just don't
Sure.
think that I would time block it in on a weekly basis.
Okay. Fair enough.
So,
All right. Go ahead.
So we blocked off strategic time, people time. The third thing is focus time. This is something that I've always had, but 4 hours each week for deep work focus time, and literally it's just 2 hours, 2 days a week. I found that that's about enough. Oddly enough, and I
what does
wind
that
up
mean?
getting. So I have blocked off, and it just says focus time, and for me it's on Tuesdays and it's on Wednesdays.
I mean,
So I
what
get
does
back to
focus
back
time mean
days.
to you?
This is time when I'm going to decide ahead of time what deep work I'm going to do. So I decide Sunday night. That is blocked off, so nobody can schedule a meeting with me there. My executive assistant can't put any time on my calendar. So it is
Yep.
blocked. And then the Sunday before, I'm going to decide what I'm going to do during that time. So I do need
And
to
what
fill it in, but it's been blocked off.